Howdy. It's good to see everybody. The soccer is, we are currently on a 5-game unbeaten streak. We went to Oklahoma, well, starting last week, we played on Wednesday night against Southern, which is the first time we had played them, and came out with a good performance. 5-0 win, 5 different goal scorers. So we've now had 11 different goal scorers for us this season. Again, our team is we have a lot of experience, but most of our experience are sophomores and juniors, and we are starting quite a few freshmen as well, with a few injuries that we've had to be dealing with. Guerrieri, who is our offensive MVP and the SEC Newcomer of the Year last year, she's missed the last 4 games due to being taken out in the Sam Houston game on a ball, on a tackle. So one on Wednesday, went to Stillwater on Saturday, played there yesterday, and gave up a goal with 3 minutes to go to end up getting a tie against Oklahoma State, which is the 3rd time in a row that we've tied them. A good game. We played really well at times. Just again, showed a little bit of our youth and our naivete in giving up a late goal on a game that really a tie felt a little bit like a loss. So that is something that we continue to work on. Look, we've always said that this is a team that is a work in progress. Lots and lots of potential on this team, lots and lots of talent. But it is when you're playing 2 games a week, it is fast and furious as far as how the learning and the education has to go, and what has to go into the building of a championship program and a championship team from year to year. We go on the road to start our SEC portion of the schedule this week. We will head up to Lexington, Kentucky, and play at the Bell, their stadium, on Friday night. That game is on SEC Plus, and then they're coming off of an overtime win against Murray State yesterday, a good win. They have a lot of firepower on their team. Girl at Rhodes is a really impressive attacking player. Richardson, another player who's very, very dangerous. They come at you from a lot of different ways, and they're a little bit inconsistent, highs and lows. We always know that we're going to get everybody's high. We tend to be a game that is circled on everyone's calendar. So we know that if we've got to continue with our learning this week and be prepared to go up there and face a quality opponent to start the SEC portion of the season. Then we come back on Friday night, and we will play at home on Sunday against number 15, I believe, Pepperdine. Pepperdine's already beaten USC. They've already beaten a couple other ranked opponents. They're having a great season. And they beat Vanderbilt 4-1 recently at Vanderbilt. So we know that this is a team that is always a hard game for us, and having to bounce back from a quick SEC game will be another challenge. Obviously, it is our Turn It Gold game. This is the one game of the year where we are able to raise money for an outside group, and our outside charity is Fight Against Childhood Cancer and Juvenile Cancer. The statistic that always kind of hits me every year is that, for example, the opening home game at Kyle Field had 97,000 people in attendance, and it's approximately that amount of kids that die every year from childhood cancer. So to imagine all those red, white, and blue people as children and dying from some form of cancer is just heartbreaking, and we want to do whatever we can to work to fight against that. The Turn It Gold Foundation is a group based in Houston that funds research for the fight against this disease, and we've been able to work with them now for several years. Last year was another record year as far as the money we were able to raise. We will be selling Turn It Gold Texas A&M soccer scarves, which look pretty cool. Also, after the game, we'll be auctioning off our special uniforms for that particular game. We wear gold and maroon hooped uniforms, and people can bid and purchase those. We will wash them, obviously, after the game. And all the money for that goes to the Turn It Gold Foundation, and just in kind of our our way of trying to do the right thing for our community and the people that we really think need as much help as we can. Gold is the official recognition color for juvenile cancer, so that's why it is turning gold. Anyway, I'll happy to open up to questions.
We'll start with Travis Brown from the Eagle, and then we'll go to TVs.
Hey, Coach. 3 of your top 4 scorers and points are freshmen. How have you seen they acclimatized through non-conference, and do you feel like how important have they been to stepping in for their injuries, and do you feel like they're ready now that the SEC slate's opening up?
Well, going into bringing this year forward from last year, we were returning our 2 center backs. We're returning all of our defense, really. We knew that we were going to be solid there. We knew we were going to be solid in our back 7 as far as the way that we defend. But the attack was what we were really most excited about of these new players. And they haven't disappointed. They've been able to come in, the freshmen, have been able to come in and really do well. Natalie Abel has stepped in, has done well. Micaiah McDonald has kind of electrified things as she's gone forward. And Mia Pante as well, came really close to winning it for us a couple times yesterday. And then, of course, you've got Miley Hayes, who now has 4 goals in the last 3 games. So they're all stepping up to meet those expectations. But like I said, it's a different game. They're going from playing against kids to now playing against seasoned female women's athletes, and they're a lot bigger and stronger than they've had to deal with in the past, and that takes a little bit of learning and understanding that oftentimes the toughness that comes into playing against older players is really the toughness that is between your ears, and understanding that you can do this. It's just a kind of the initial shock of getting knocked around a lot, like our girls have been.
And then could you what strengths? What could you break down Natalie and Mally's game? What stands out to you about what they do well?
Well, I've kind of compared Miley Hayes to a bit of a Tasmanian devil, without the slobber coming off of her, but she does spin and fight and cause chaos and destruction as she goes through other teams' defenses. And the goal that she scored yesterday was an incredible individual effort where she popped the ball over a defender was coming, popped it over her, brought it down, went on the dribble, and then hit a shot from about 28 yards, that beat the goalkeeper to the far post, which was just an amazing individual effort. Abel is very cerebral, very smart in the way she plays. She does really well of bringing other people in, and oftentimes if you watch her in the game, how she's combining with quick combination passes at the top of the box, and she has the ability to score on set pieces. She hit the post, the crossbar in one of the home games that actually Miley was able to finish off on the rebound. So it's just a matter of these guys of knowing that they can do it and being more comfortable in going after people and not being distracted by the physicality that happens against these teams that we play. Big 12 is a physical league, and now it's really going to step up once we get in the SEC. Just the level of athlete is in every sport is just at the top of the country. So those are the things with those guys, and we've had other players who have stepped up at different times, but now that we get into SEC play, the consistency of what we need is really paramount.
Let's go back behind the lights to Tyler from KTX, and then Mike.
Coach, when you're starting SEC play this week, are there any concerns, or what's kind of the main area of focus you're working on to get ready for league play?
Well, there's always concerns because it's the SEC. You're gonna get a great team against you. You're going to get a team that's really well coached, that's athletic. When you go on the road, you're going to have a team that clearly has a 1-goal advantage going into the match. And again, we're the favorites to win the league, or we're the co-favorites to win the league along with Arkansas. So it's a game that the other team that it is a big game for them, and we can't look at anything but ourselves as we go into these games, and that's really the focus that we've tried to go into as we kind of get on this unbeaten run now these last 5 games. That's what we focused on. And really, if you look at the match against our old Big 12 rival in Oklahoma State, our players played really well. I mean, there was times where it was just like, wow, especially again as young as this team is, the way that the way that they moved the ball and the way that they played and the way that they opened up the opponent, it was just a little bit of everything except for the finishing touch. So we'll continue to work on finishing. We'll continue to work on set pieces and set plays. That I think the problem as a coach who obviously is a control freak, like most head coaches in most sports, when we have an opportunity to do something when the clock is stopped or when it's a set piece and it's a set ball, we want to take advantage of things. But I don't have the ability to call a timeout, bring them over, and draw up a play. We've done that in training, and it's up to them to not be distracted by the moment and actually make it happen. So that's the other thing that we'll be working on, is just continuing to reinforce the things that we do in training, so that when the moment is right, that it comes to them, snap of the fingers, and they'll get it done.
Stay on TV row and go to Mike from KX, and then we'll go to Zach.
Coach, you set up the non-conference gauntlet to start the season with those 3 straight top 10 games to test your team and get them ready for SEC play. So do you feel like these girls are ready for what's coming?
I think so. Obviously, once we get Barb back, we'll be a lot more ready. But that's just kind of the way it goes. You're always going to have to deal with injuries to key players, because those are the players that are going to be, I wouldn't say targeted by the opponents, but those are the players that are going to be on the ball a lot and are going to be hit by your opponents. So I feel good about the fact that we're going to get a little bit of training in this week before we go up to Kentucky. We've had a lot of success against Kentucky in the past. They know that, and I think that what we're doing, we're seeing improvement every single week. And the unfortunate thing, like I said, we gave up a goal with 3 minutes to go in the match. We had the game won. We give up a goal with 3 minutes to go on a bit of a brain fart. We had a bit of a brain fart against UTEP. They gave up a goal at the end of the first half in that game, but came back in the second half and ran away with it. Same thing with the game against number 1 Florida State. We lose in the last minute of the match. So these are concentration issues. These are issues of maturity and getting the team ready. And those are hard lessons to learn, but these are lessons that we think there's a smart group of young women that they've learned the lessons, and we are pretty well prepared for the start of the season, of the SEC season.
Let's go to Zach on your left, and we'll finish with Richard.
G, you spoke a little bit about going on the road, Lexington with some advantages there, obviously playing at home, but are there any advantages to taking a young team like this on the road to start conference play?
Well, I'll be honest, I would prefer to play all of our games at home and use that advantage, because there's no advantage like there is at our home venue in women's soccer. But I think that playing in front of crowds at home actually makes it a lot easier when we go on the road. The other thing that will be helpful for us this week, this will be the first week that we're able to charter aircraft to get to where we want to go. It was a long trip to go to Stillwater. It's a 7-hour bus ride, and then a 7-hour bus ride right back. So being able to really focus completely on what we have to do, get there, take care of business, get back, I think also becomes an advantage as we really focus on trying to defend our SEC championship. We've won a lot of championships, and we've done it by meticulously going through and having a methodology of the way that we're going to attack games, and the build-up is that method has been in place for a while. I think our coaches have done a really good job of preparing them, but again, we don't get timeouts, so it has to be ingrained in what we do.
All right, we'll finish with Richard on your right.
Coach, you mentioned Oliveri's injury. When are you expecting to have her back on the pitch, and how much has her offensive production been missed these last couple of matches?
Well, you take out your quarterback, and your offense is going to sputter just a little bit until those other players step in and are used to getting those reps in that role and being the creator in that role. So. Natalie Abel has stepped into her role in the short term. We've played a couple different players in that role as well, but no one does it as well as Barb. And we're sticking with what our doctors are telling us. We have an incredible medical team that are helping with her. Initially we thought that it was an ACL and it was going to be a season lost. So it's not an ACL, thank goodness. And we're hopeful, knock on wood, that we get her back yesterday. But I don't have a magic mirror to tell me exactly when that's going to happen.
All right.
All right, thanks everybody.